Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we'll be reviewing the Acura Integra Type S. And this Type S is pretty dang special because this not only is a fully loaded Type S from an option perspective, but this has every single dealer installed option you can get on the new Type S. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Jody Wilkinson Acura here in Salt Lake City, Utah for giving me some time with this Type S. Now, something that I do want to mention is the Jody Wilkinson Acura does not charge any sort of markups on any of their cars, including the new Integra Type S. So if you want to get a great deal on an Acura, definitely reach out to them. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering the Type S is a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through a 6-speed manual transmission. Fuel economy is 21 around town and then 28 on the highway, with power outputs being 320 horsepower and then 310 pound-feet of torque. And by the way, the red and the carbon fiber just looks so cool. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, I love the venting we have here at the top and how it's all blacked out. And this metallic white paint just looks so good on the Type S. And then coming down below, you guys can see the daytime running light here with the headlights. You've got Integra stamped there just down below. And then this, like I said, has a lot of dealer installed accessories. So notice the Type S badge. It's kind of hard to see because it's all blacked out. You've got the Acura logo also blacked out as well. And then you guys can see all the trim here at the bottom is all blacked out. And when you put it all together, this car just looks so good. Like, I was already kind of a fan of the Integra, but like this makes me really a fan of the new Integra. Now, coming on the side here, our tire wheel setup is 265/30/19 in the front and over in the rear. And you guys can see this one has the upgraded bronze wheels. $2,500 option, just putting that out there. We have Brembo brakes up front, as you can see, and then we do have a limited slip differential as well. And it looks like the little cap there in the valve stem, that's also been upgraded. Now we have the Type S's huge fenders, which just give this car such a cool look. Blacked out Type S badge, carbon fiber mirror caps, another upgraded dealer option. And then you guys can see all the window trims blacked out. Now this is interesting. So you guys can see that's fender there in the back, but then this is actually fender flare on this area. So that's kind of funny with the rear versus the front. And then here's your full side view on the Type S with the wide body appearance. It looks good. So taking a look at the key fob, we have our unlock function or lock function. We have this that unlocks the hatch, and then we have our Acura Type S logo there on the back. And speaking of the hatch, this is one of the things that makes the Type S so special, is the fact that it's a practical car. So you've got the cargo cover built in from the factory, Type S down below, and then of course we have our ELS Studios sound system with this. But yeah, I mean, this is super practical back here. And then when you're all done, just plop that right down. Now you have this carbon fiber spoiler here on the back end, and then you guys can see the taillights here, another Integra logo, and then the Acura badge blacked out. Type S, again, blacked out. And then you can see with the parking sensors here, and then look how crazy the diffuser is, of course, with the 3 exhaust tips there in the center. And putting it all together, let me know what you guys think about the style on the new Type S, but I think they did a really good job. Now, taking a look at the door panel here, you guys can see with the leather trim here all in red with this particular car. And then taking a look at the seats, you guys can see they are all red, which matches the front. Legroom back here is actually pretty good for being a smaller size car. And then this has also been upgraded to say Type S, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I do like these seats. It's comfortable back here. You can see they got a little storage pocket. And then headroom back here, I mean, I'm almost touching the top. Now, taking a look at the front door panel, you actually have soft touch here at the top, and then you guys can see the trim down below. And I do like this that goes across to the speaker for the sound system. Front 2 windows are automatic. You've got your mirror adjustments, and then we do have blind spot monitoring with the mirrors too. Type S there on the headrest, then you guys can see how it's perforated all down the center. And then we've got our power adjustments here on the side, and then Type S yet again. And then look at the pedals. Really fancy looking. And then Type S on the floor mats. Can you tell what car this is yet? You've got the stability control button right there, and then of course we've got the cool vents. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, this one has the upgraded Alcantara steering wheel, which I'll see how this feels with driving. But we've got the Type S logo there at the bottom. We've got our adaptive cruise control with steering assist. We also have our volume and voice command controls, turn signal / light stock, and we have our windshield wiper stock as well. And then here is the gauge cluster. We've got the digital gauge cluster that comes with the Integra. And you can basically scroll through a bunch of different menus here, as you can see. But that's not the fun part. The fun part is with the drive modes. So you can see we've got like the sport mode that we can pop it into. Then we have a Sport Plus mode. Notice how everything gets really aggressive. And I'll show you guys the drive modes on the other side. But I do like the little thing that it does when you can't go to another drive mode. It's kind of fun. Now, sorry about the glare, but in reverse, we have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, you've got little like shortcut buttons there with the volume control. Overall response time is solid. This is the same as what you have in the Honda Civic. So it's not an Acura infotainment system or Acura specific, but I really do like it. It's easy to use. And this is where I'll go over the drive modes so you guys can see the Sport. You got the Comfort right there. And then you have the Sport Plus, which is all red. Of course, we have the cool vent design, and then you guys can see the climate controls here. Really nice feel to them. Heated seats here for the front, and then down below we've got our wireless phone charging pad, some USB action, charging port action, all of that. And then this one has the upgraded shifter, and let me tell you, not only does this look cool, but it just feels really good. Now, something that's interesting is there's no reverse lockout. You just basically put it all the way over for reverse. But again, we'll talk about this more while driving. I have had a chance to drive the Integra Type S with the normal shifter, so I'll talk about how I feel with this shifter versus the normal one, if that makes any sense. Anyways, right next to it, you've got like your individual drive mode, then the rest of the drive mode select, parking brake, and then your brake hold. Got some cup holders right here, and then center console, which good storage space. I do like the trim here on the top. I think that's nice. And then glove box, which is pretty dang large here. And then up top, we don't have a sunroof or anything like that. Again, sports car, why would you need one? So we've got our window sticker here for this Type S. You guys can see all of the standard equipment. Base MSRP $50,800, and then here is the option with the color and everything. So $52,595. Now this is before the dealer installed accessories. Now I didn't mention these accessories are from Acura, but they can't come from the factory. They have to be installed by the dealer. After all dealer installed accessories on the Type S, just like what this has, your total price is $60,000. Let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood, and hopefully you can now see the heads-up display. Both the mirrors do blind spot monitoring, and throughout the rest of the rear. And, well, actually got to reverse a little bit. We're actually in comfort mode. We're gonna start in sport mode. I actually already drove the Type S. If you guys follow the channel, you know that I did that mountain drive. So this is my second drive in the Type S, but this obviously is in a Type S that has all of the accessories. And I can tell you that I think some of these will make sense for some of you, and some of these might not make as much sense. First off, the shift knob, that makes sense. I think the regular shift knob this comes with is really good, but this titanium one is a lot better. The weighted feel that you get, it just feels so much better than the standard shift knob that you have with the leather and everything. Got to be really careful of that driveway because this car is pretty low to the ground. Oh man, this shifter is so good. Like super notchy into the gates. And again, the titanium shift knob, I feel like it just adds to the driving experience. Let's pop it back into comfort mode. Suspension's really comfortable. That's one thing that I do love about the Type S, is they've done a good job with the damping. What this reminds me of is the Golf R when it comes to like the comfort and the damping. But again, the driving dynamics that I remember from the Canyon roads is this is a lot more exciting to drive than the Golf R. And something that people complain about with this, I'm gonna pop back into the sport mode, is the clutch. It's not bad. Like I drove my Shelby GT350 to the dealership today to film this, and that I feel like has a really good clutch in it. Some of you might argue with that. But like this, it's light, but it's got like it's got more weight to it than the regular Integra, a little bit more. But it's not like, it's not difficult to use or anything. I honestly do not see the reason for complaints with this. Also, I like the Alcantara there at the base of the shifter. I think that that's fun. I like this engine too. It's got like that turbo feel where like it's like nothing, and then there's kind of there's a little bit more, which is fun. It's got the auto rev match, which is just a nice daily driver feature, honestly. It's always a good thing to have, in my opinion. You don't have to use it, obviously, if you don't want, but I think it's fun to have. You can feel it's front-wheel drive when you really get on it. We're gonna pop it into Sport Plus mode, which is gonna make everything firm. So that's another interesting thing. What I will say is this steering wheel, I don't think that I necessarily prefer this over the leather one. I think the leather one's gonna make more sense for most people because unless you're like me where you have super dry hands, the Alcantara is gonna wear faster over time than the leather. That's just how Alcantara works. But if you're part of the dry hand gang, then this steering wheel will be just fine for you. Seat comfort's really good on the Type S. I will say the Honda Civic Type R seats, which obviously a lot of people like to compare these cars because basically the same car, I think they're more comfortable than these seats, to be honest, which is strange, but those Type R seats are just so good. Honda did a really good job with the sculpting and everything with those. The thing I love about this is like you can get into it and it's like it feels quick, but it's not so fast that you're worried, right? I think they've done a good, like, it's got like the perfect amount of power. I've had some people tell me that like this needs more power. And speaking of Type Rs, yeah, I've had some people say that they think this needs more power. I think this is perfect, just enough to have fun, but not too much to where you are just going crazy fast all the time, to actually be able to like have fun with the car, if that makes sense. I will say in this Sport Plus mode, it is firm. So I think Sport mode, yeah, I think Sport mode's the way to go with this car when it comes to driving. Now some other stuff with this. The overall interior layout, again, super similar to the Civic, but I do like the Acura-ness of this interior. It makes it feels more upscale than the Civic. I like how it shows a turn signal there down below. That's kind of cool. Okay, so let's get into summing things up here with our Type S review. I love how it gets all red in the gauge cluster. That's so fun. I love the looks of the new Type S. I think they did a fantastic job with the styling. I like the Civic Type R. I think this looks better. It's got this like classier yet more aggressive look compared to the Civic Type R. Again, the Civic Type R still looks great. Interior with this, I like everything more. Other than the seats, I still like those front seats in the Civic Type R more. I think that those seats are just so amazing. And then as for the upgrades, I think that here's the deal. I think all the upgrades in this car are worth it except for two for most people. I think the steering wheel is probably not gonna be worth it for a lot of people because, again, the leather's gonna hold up better over time for most people. And then the wheels, 2,500 bucks. It looks like they're just powder coated, a different color. So 2,500 bucks for powder coats. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think on that. But you know, if they were at least like an actual upgrade, I would feel better about it. But it just looks like it's a different color on the wheels. They do look really sharp though. I will say that. They do look really sharp. I love the sound of this. It sounds better than the Civic Type R. That's another thing. Definitely sounds better. So overall, although the Integra Type S is more expensive than the Civic Type R from an MSRP perspective, it sounds like Acura is going to build more of these than what Honda is going to do with the Civic Type R. It sounds like the Civic Type R is going to be this limited edition, you know, track car. Whereas with this, it sounds like it's going to be like the other Type S's, right? The MDX and the TLX, where they're actually going to build them. And so with that in mind, the price that you'd be able to get this for, which is, again, like Jody Wilkins Acura, doesn't charge any markups over MSRP. That means that like a Civic Type R that's going for $10,000 over MSRP, so $45,000 plus $10,000, is more expensive than if you got this with no dealer installed options. This with the for the $52,000 base MSRP. So I think that this is the one to go for out of the two because of the dealer markups. If for some reason you can get a Civic Type R at MSRP, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a little more rare car. It's going to feel more special, that kind of stuff. But if you can't, Integra Type S is the route to go. And well, that's why I personally went with this car.